Hey, hope you're going well. Welcome back. Hopefully going to spend the day in the workshop today. It's nearly 10 o'clock. And we haven't struck a blow yet. So Tony's been out spraying. I've had a few issues with the boom spray, so I had to go out and sort him out. We didn't sort them out, so we've left it out there, and the guys from Dick and Zag are going to come and have a look at it at some stage. Brendan's down. He's just raking fire breaks, contract raking, doing fire breaks. So he's down there. He'll be tied up down there for a couple of days. So I've got this bit of hollow bar here to make up the front for the header, which I keep banging on about. I'm going to get this machined out. We've got to take a bit out of it. It needs to be 3 inches, and we're about, I don't know what we are. We've got to take about 1/4 of an inch in the old scale out, so about 6 mil. So just to get it to fit, and then obviously we'll cut it back to length and machine both ends of it, and then we'll start and glue the frame together. So it's no sort of plan. We'll just sort of copy the other one, but just make it a bit narrower to fit the corn front. So anyway, we'll see how we go. Just been having a few dramas here, but anyway, I think I had, I'll clip you, just had the boring bar out a bit far, and it was, believe it or not, it was flexing, which I didn't think was possible, but it's a pretty chunky one. Anyway, I've moved it in a bit closer to the headstock, and it's been better. So I think we might have gone a bit big now, but that won't matter. I'll get him out and we'll have a look. I don't actually own a parting off tool, so that's basically a tool we can put in the lathe and cut, cut a shaft off or cut this sort of stuff off. So I just put it, stuck it in the old saw here, which doesn't cut very straight. So what I'm going to do is I'll just face this side off. I still do need to take a bit more out of there. It doesn't quite fit on yet, and also, when I weld that bush in, it'll shrink just with the heat. So I'll make sure we've got plenty of clearance. It doesn't need to be a super snug fit for what we're doing. But it'll be a bugger if we weld it on and then it's too tight and we can't get it on. So we'll give it a bit of clearance. Up, so I've got a bit of a gap between the bush and the chuck, just so I need to take a bit more out with the boring bar, and I've about got it to the right width. It's not 100% there, but I'm just gonna try and set this up, just stepped out a little bit, so I can run the boring bar right through, and it doesn't run through and hit the chuck. So I'm by no means a machinist, so welding's more my forte, but I do enjoy doing a bit of it from time to time. This sort of stuff's a bit of fun, so we'll see how we get. We'll get it pretty close. We'll get it close enough for our job anyway. So it is a fraction oversized, but as I said, that'll be pretty cool. So I'll just square it up now to get it to the right width, and we're about done. All right, that's the finished product. So comes around and hopefully beautiful. So it is a bit sloppy, but that won't matter because, as I said, it will shrink a little bit with the welding, and we'll only have this front on when we've got the corn front on. Tony's just brought it over a bit closer. So yeah, I'll get to now and measure up where that's got to be, but that's essentially that bush there. Yeah, we've got a few bits and pieces here. We're gonna have to join a few together to make it up, but that won't matter. Yeah, so I don't know what I'll do, whether I just do a bit and then talk what I'm doing, or whether I set the time lapse up, or yeah, anyway, I'll work that one out. Alright, so what I'm doing is, that's the main cross member at the top, and then we've got our bush. So what I've got to do is, I've got to cut a hole in there so we can put that through there and weld it in. Now I don't have a hole saw or anything big enough to do that, so I've got this little guide here on the oxy torch, and it just gives me a centre, and I'll just walk it around and hopefully cut the hole and it all works. What I like to do is just put a couple of little cuts opposite one another, and then I can measure it, and then I can sort of get an idea whether I've got it set up properly or not, whether I need to close it in a bit or open it up a bit more, because obviously once you cut that circle out, you can't do any, it's too late. Come on.
Ta-da!
Fill it up.
Oh, it should be top right.
Second rods. Alright, so I've just rolled it over, had both sides marked. Obviously I couldn't burn a bit of box section, I couldn't cut through it. And that's what we're aiming for. Without dropping it through, it's still pretty hot. So I'll just have to see what position it is. It's about 150 by 50 rectangular high section, and that bush is about 60 mil. So we've got 5 mil on either side. So I'll just have to have a look at the other one where the positioning is. I need that to be 200 deep. So what I'm going to do, I've actually got some 50 by 50. I'm just going to run along the bottom of it, and then that'll obviously strengthen that where we've cut that out up, and then I'll plate down past the ends of both of them. So yeah, it should be neat enough once we get it all glued together. Ended up with, it's the next day, ended up with a bat flattery on the GoPro, so I missed filming a bit. So I've bored these holes, bigger holes, a 50 mil hole, and we've got a pilot hole there drilled for the other one. So it'll just be a, whatever that is, 16 mil. So I've machined up this bush. I need to make another one, and that'll drop in there. And then what happens is we've got this bolt here, and he drops in there, and I've made that big enough to get a socket in, and then that it'll essentially get welded into that bit RHS. If you can work it out. So yeah, so I'll weld that in there, and then that basically simulates these holes here. And what happens is we won't need to use it, but because on the feeder house we can tilt it laterally, we can tilt the front that way. So that bolt basically runs in these slides here, and there's a little hydraulic cylinder here that you know we can control from the cab. So yeah, so just chipping away at it. Obviously, yeah, still got that other one to make up, but it's come along not too badly. And then we need to find something for the channel for the top that actually hooks the front up. So yeah, we'll see how it progresses today. Hopefully we can get a bit more done on it. And then there was two. So they're definitely not millimetre perfect. So what I'll do is I'll probably just tack them into place first, and then I might just with the pilot hole there, it's not 100% in the middle, but it won't be far away. yeah, I'll tack them in and then run the drill through them so the two holes meet together. They might be slightly off a bit, but anyway, it'll work all right. And then yeah, we can actually sort of tack the outside of it together then. So yeah, it's coming along all right. Oh, it's warm enough with the helmet and gloves on, I can tell you. So I got the frame tacked up. I've just started welding it out. Yeah, so that's sort of basically what it's looks like. Yeah, and then we've just got to get the channel on the top of it, so I'll weld it out, and then yeah, try and find something to put on the top of it. And then how the front attaches is a little bit different between the two brands. So yeah, the case has got a hook system that drops over the pins, whereas the John Deere, it's got a plate with a hole in it, pins or something. So I do actually have here. I tripped over. Yeah, I do actually have a couple of these. They're sort of gate latches, so we might be able to fit them up on the bottom to drop in. So we'll just yeah, we'll see how that goes, but might work out all right with a bit of luck. Yeah. All welded up, so it's come up not too bad. Yeah, there's still a bit of grinding and yeah, tied a few sharp edges up. This is the front side, so this will go on. Goes on the front. Yeah, so get some of those welds pretty smooth. It doesn't need to be super duper, but yeah, especially down the bottom here where it meets up, kisses up with the front. We'll get it nice and tidy. But yeah, it's coming along all right. Well, I've rounded up a bit of channel. It's actually upside down at the moment, so that bit of channel will go in and essentially pick up the front. I've actually run out of MIG wire. I do have another roll there, but I've about had enough today, so I might, it's got pretty warm, so I'll look at changing that in the morning. So what the plan is, I'll just stitch that bit of channel on. I don't want to get too carried away, just in case it doesn't work and I've got to cut it off. But essentially it's pretty well right to go on the front of the header. I just hope I've welded that bush in. I hope I've given it enough clearance and it hasn't shrunk, otherwise I'll be in there with the die grinder. Yeah, taking a bit of metal out, but yeah, it sort of looks like that one. What I'll do is, once I know it's gonna, essentially I'm just gonna put it on, make up the latches so that it locks the front on. So those, I don't know whether they're going to work or not, those things. We might just have to design something that we can use. They'll potentially just weld on there, which might be alright, but we just have to make up a tab or something at the back to stop them from being able to come undone, because yeah, that'd be a bit of a disaster if they came undone and yeah, ended up driving over, the front jumped off and you ended up driving over it or something like that. So yeah, I'll put some little gussets in here. I'll cut some gussets and put them in here just to reinforce that. And yeah, it's pretty all right to go. So yeah, once it goes on the front and it picks up, once it goes on the header, and we can pick up the front. Yeah, it doesn't probably need to go back on until we're ready to harvest the corn, so I'll give the front a run while we've got it on. Yeah, make those latches up, and so there's still a bit to do. There's going to be another day here without any trouble at all. So anyway, yeah, I've had enough. I'm a bit hot and bothered. So no, thanks again. We'll see you again on the next one. Ta-da.